we can't prove that intuition exists. But there's so many references and so much evidence that people say that they've used their intuition. Science does allow for a theory. So let's talk about the theory of intuition, because I have a theory about it. And I call it the law of the intellectual operating law of synergy. Your brain is accumulating millions and billions and trillions of bits of information. The amount of information is exploding. Think how much information is available to you than to someone 25, 50, 100 years ago. It is absolutely staggering. So as we assimilate, as we are exposed to this information, our brains are able to integrate it. And when we're faced with a challenge, we have a new vision, someone asks us a question, our brain automatically, in about 550 milliseconds, little more than half a second, processes all this information. It can't go through each bit individually, and what it does is it gives us a feeling. So in my opinion, what intuition is, it's that certainty, that greater good, that feeling of expansion, that something's going to move your life or our life forward. If you have fear, that's also intuition telling you to wait, telling you to consider something differently. I had the privilege and the honor and the opportunity to work in a very successful wellness clinic in New York City. And I actually managed this clinic, and I had a bunch of nutritionists, acupuncturists. These were very intuitive people, very intuitive people. And one day, I had a young girl come into my clinic. She was about 9 or 10 years old, and she was just that day diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Her mother came in, her mother was in a frenzy, she was really upset. I remember this specifically. And I said, you know what I want to do? I'm going to send you to one of our nutritionists. So I called her up, I said, do you think you could see her now, and do you think you could help her? She says, I think I can. Part of the story was that this young girl had a very unusual ethnic diet, a lot of fat, a lot of carbohydrates, and so what we did was we completely transformed, I didn't, the nutritionist completely transformed her diet. And within a week, when she was due to go back to her physician for a follow-up blood test to confirm this, her blood tests were normal. Now, I don't know if you understand this. This does not make medical sense, number one. And number two, type 1 diabetes is a lifelong sentence of expensive medications, medical procedures. There's all kinds of complications with diabetes. Eye problems, ear problems, muscle problems, heart problems, joint problems, nerve problems, kidney problems. This is something you want to avoid if you can. So the doctor actually called me up and he goes, what did you do? And I said, well, we just changed her diet. I said, that's impossible, that's impossible. So she came in a couple more times, actually lost the follow-up. I actually called the doctor back to see what his follow-up was. He said, and this is what he said, probably my first blood tests were wrong. I don't know. I don't even care if they were wrong, right, or indifferent. But what I know is that this girl, even if it was, let's say that it was a bad diagnosis, let's say it was just a misdiagnosis, this doctor would have put her on insulin. Insulin for the rest of her life shuts down her pancreas. It'll want a long-term on insulin. It'll actually never come back. So this nutritionist intuition may have either saved this girl's life or dramatically enhanced her life. The most important, this feeling of expansion, that's your intuition at work. And what I would recommend is that you start to use your intuition on a daily basis, that you create an intention for your day. You start to notice things that you didn't notice before. You know, your intuition can be thought of like a vestigial organ. It's your appendix or your little toe. You don't need them anymore. However, if you use it, it can dramatically enhance and transform your life. So I look forward to hearing about your journey with conscious intuition.